Staying next to a river is one of the fun things that a child can go through. You get to play because it's just next door. You get to listen to the birds sing. You get to see all the wonderful fruits, all the wonderful flowers, all the wonderful trees. This river, Makuchi, is what I called home. Makuchi was a place where I reconnected with nature. Makuchi was the reason why I wanted to understand nature more. Makuchi was the reason why I needed to be an environmentalist. And now, looking at Makuchi, looking at what has happened to it, because it's dry, it's polluted, it's contaminated with waste. Nobody cares about it anymore. Nobody sees the significance of water in it anymore. So then this gave me questions to go on a quest to try to understand, why is my river like this? Why do people pollute? Why do people not see that water that I used to play in when I was a child is no longer there? From the K2C, we also have a group of community citizen science monitors who regularly visit our rivers, our streams, to try and monitor the quality and the quantity of water using different tools and mechanisms. Through my engagement with Mogale, I got to understand the significance of bringing in science within the community.
So my name is Mogale Mainejan. I'm a freshwater technician at K2C, which is Kruger-Tikanyo Biosphere region. Right now we are at Makutswe river system. So in Makutswe we are having 3 river systems which are being separated at the mountains on the upstream. So I have been working with these river systems about 2 years now. So there is a serious change within our water system due to climate change and also to anthropogenic activities that are happening around our water bodies. What I mean by anthropogenic activities are human-made activities such as sand mining, illegal dumping, especially diapers. Everywhere we go right now in our river system, there is a lot of diapers. So what we do, basically, we go to our water systems and take the E. coli test. Then afterwards, we calculate the rate at which the coliforms are being formed within a water body. Then we are able to know the amount of E. coli within a water system. So what happens with the nappy waste within our water system? There is amount which is acceptable within our water system for E. coli to be there. If the amount is greater than the normal one, which means the water system is no longer consumable. If people do drink water from this river system, they'll get diseases. So what comes in my mind, I think our communities don't have that knowledge when it comes to waste being dumped into our river system. I would say lack of knowledge is what is destroying our communities. If people can be more aware of what nappies do to waters and also to our health, I think that's when they'll realize they must stop dumping nappies into our water systems.
In my quest to understanding waste more, I noticed that my community wasn't the only one that was affected by waste. Within the biosphere, there is so many communities that are affected by waste in so many different ways. So then this gave me a way for me to engage with them and try to hear, how does it affect them and how do they see waste and where do they see the opportunities in waste.
My name is Mike Job. I'm one of the landowners here on Makalali Game Reserve, and I'm the director of Seafunda Conservation. So the discussion is obviously the waste in the river here where we're standing, and I've been on the reserve now for how long? I've been here, 18 years, and there's been a clear increase in waste over the years. And what we're talking about is mainly plastic. rubbish that is getting washed down when the river floods. Just an example, if we clean about 1 kilometre of river, we'll collect 25 bags of trash. That's a roller from a deodorant container. And if we start to climb, now that I feel like I'm picking up stuff, I've got to start. I think I even saw there's a deodorant can there. There's lots, you know, there's all this polystyrene. So imagine what's, yeah, I don't know, it's horrible. And we've cleared this, we've cleared this not so long ago. We need to actually, in a way, come and dig with forks and get all the stuff out. Another one of these little ping pong balls in there. I was walking in the bush 2 weeks ago and I found a elephant dung pile, and there was a little bit of plastic next to it, so I just assumed it had been dropped by somebody. But as I picked it up, there was actually also a plastic bag intertwined in the dung of the elephant. And it's about 1 or 2 kilometers from the river. Elephants don't come and feed off sort of waste that is within the lodges. This elephant would have been feeding in a river and just ingested it without knowing about it. And so that's sort of an immediate impact that I've literally picked up in the last 2 weeks of before you guys came to discuss it with me. Now imagine, you know, all the other animals that are ingesting this plastic. There's obviously going to be a negative impact somewhere along the line. Obviously, and we've discussed, there's an aesthetic issue because it's unpleasant to be in a nature reserve and you're finding rubbish. Because I'm trying to do a nature walk. Now we're looking at an elephant and I'm looking at a plastic bottle, and I'm feeling the contrast there. I'm thinking this should not be there. You know, the human, you know, impact on our reserve is quite minimal within the reserve, but sadly, obviously, we don't live in isolation to the world. You know, so we need to manage, you know, beyond our borders, and that's through engagement and looking at solutions, I guess. Just talking about diapers, that's actually surprisingly a new thing we're seeing in our river. For previously, we weren't seeing that much. It was mainly plastic bottles and lightweight rubbish, you know, condoms, things like that. But the diapers have started to appear, but the problem with them, I'm noticing, is they're kind of semi-broken up. They get compacted into the soil. They get compacted into the vegetation, and they're sort of quite hard, you know, to kind of pull out. You grab one and it just falls apart. It's starting to increase here, and I know there's problems further south, which are much worse than ours. But I think, you know, this is something I'll be a bit worried about. It's going to increase, and obviously there's the biological aspect of its human waste and how that impacts on water quality.
Leina la ka ke Aniki Monareng. Ke tswa ke le nageng ya Enebolo. Mengwaga ngwana o ke bolelang ka ena o na le mengwaga ge ke 1 year 5 months gona bjalo. Mo Enebolo go ile gwa tla team e nngwe e leng gore ba ile batla gore botsha ka dinepi gore na di re tshwere bjang mo nageng ya Enebolo. La bona ke moka ba bangwe re shumisa malairi ala gale a dikobo, ba bangwe re shumisa malairi ana ya gore ge re apola ngwana re notse a re lahlela ka kua la kusha ke ka mokgwa thimela e bego e re bitse ka gona gore re tle re boledišane ka yona. The cloth nappies re a tlhaka ka metsi mo nageng ka nako la re itshepetse pula be gona bjalo pula a e dire selo, and then ba rekisa metsi. Re ka se kgone go reka metsi 600 rand tanka, ene ba bangwe ga re bereke. Community ya rena ye ntši mo Enebolo ga e šome, la bona re ka se kgone go reka metsi. Se se kaone ke gore ke eng, re no tloga re ya go reka dinepi gona mo mabenkeleng a mohleng. Go na le West Bin mola dikhoneng, la bona ja ntho e no ba ntho e ke yona e re tlhobang boroko ka baka la gore e phakisa e tlala la ikuša. Ke yona ntho e leng gore e re tlhoba boroko ke moka batho ba bantši gore lahlela dinokaneng, go gongwe re a re lahla dinokeng, ene re palela ke go diang ke go nwa metsi ka kua nokeng. Metsi ala a be a re thuša go nwa la ikuša. Go gongwe re a re lahla ka Lefokeng, la tseba re ne dirua ke re ka kua Lefokeng, and then gore kgomo itle e je nepi e a gamega. Mong wa kgomo a ya fetisa kgomo ela ka kua a go nyakege. Tsona di a re thuša but di re tshwenya ka lebaka la gore keng la gore re lahlela kua le kua mo e leng gore a go nyake re nyaka di-west bin tse dintšhinyana ke moo re ile gore a lena gona gore re tlamegile gore go kgwetse di-west binnyana tse dintšhi kore di-bin tse dintšhi di bonala la bona.
I am Dr. Magoman MJ. I'm residing at Metz Village. I'm also the chairperson for Makutulupelle Livestock Farmers Association, stretching from Kelly's up to Hoedspruit. When I was still a boy, I used to herd my father's cattle. Then I said, let me go back to my roots and buy my own cattle. I've got them also, but now I'm happy because now I'm operating on an association level. Don't fight. Our biggest challenge, beside drought and some diseases, we have this one of the waste management, which we know is an artificial, it's a human creation by itself. But now we got a very, very big, serious problem because immediately the livestock or the cattle can swallow a plastic, then we know it ends up dying. And some of these people, sometimes after using these nappies, they throw them into the small rivers, and the same nappies are taken down by the river when the river flows, and the cattle go and drink the same water, which is not conducive for a cattle to drink. It's not healthy, especially those that are pregnant. You may find that they don't give birth in a normal way, and they are not good for our cattle.
Ke nna Tlara wa ga Mohuba. Ke dutse mo ka 97. Ke no bona e ore dilo a di tsamaye ga botse. Ka re go kaone le nna ke be ke fokatša gana ka mo. Ke rekisa, ke ba rekisa go tsona gana ka mo. Ka thoma go tšea dilo tšana tše ba di šomišago gana ka kua di-box, di-tin fish, di-plastic bottle le di-steel. Ka thoma go rekisa dilo tšana tšengwe. Ka bona e gore tše di šothago ka mo gae. So ke a di kgabanyana le mo e gore a ke di fitlhelele. Le bana ke kgona go ba rekela tše di tshwanetšego ka mo gae. Mo ba latha gape di re ba bisa pelo ka gore ebile di tšhilafatša naga ka mo ebile rena re a di nyaka go di šomiša mara bona ba latha ka di-19 di a boya
Mo London
re tlile ka 2004
2004.
mo re thoma go nota re fokatša
Alright.
ra fetša re bereka.
Bjano ge batho ba di rekile kua go sala waste ya mohutamane.
Go sala di-pampers, nappies, ke tšona di salago ko.
And then ba di a leka tsona ge di fetše gona kua.
Ba di phušeletša.
Oh. Alright.
Dinappi tšela di re tshwara bothoko tšela. Kore o ka re mola go kgonega ebe go tshwanetše go inemo e no gore tšona go nemo ba no ya go ba di tšhela theko. Ke moka dilo tše re kgeresago tšona ba di tšhela go ine ye di rwalago. Dinappi tšela go ine koloi ye di rwalago. Go inemo ba di tšhollelago gona ba dio di phušeletša ka gore a di ne mogola. gabotse batho nka ba botsa gore le ka no ntšeela fase ka mokgwa o ke berekago ka gona mara ke bohlokwa mo setšhabeng ka gore dilo tšela le lathago mo nageng mo ke rena re thusago go di tšea ra di isa ka ku ba ya ba fetša ra di sota go a ba le tše re di tšeago re di ya tšhaletse ka tšona mara go neetše dingwe tše ba di lathago di sa di go tšhaletse ba fetša ba di phušeletšitše mola e gore di no dula mo nageng ke e tšhilafetše le go feta mola e se rena le bona nke gana bjanong ba bona gore felo mo go tšhilafetše mara ka baka la rena re tšama re gare re topela re dia re isa gana ka kua go a hafolega tšhilafalo e a hafolega.
My name is Helen Pasha. I have been employed by Maruli Municipality as the Director for Community Services. Well, in terms of waste management, we've got 3 waste trucks, and we also have skip bins in business sites as well as in the households. They have the wheel bins mainly, or they have their own bins which we collect. The challenges that we have, especially in the rural areas, is that because the skip bins are a little bit further from some of the villagers, we are facing illegal dumping, wherein people will just throw waste all around without necessarily taking them to the skip bins. And you know, in the villages, they are not even paying for this service. So it's a free service. We would really like to see the community also playing their part by ensuring that we preserve our environment by not littering. And we just have to have a way of disposing the waste into the skip bins. Yeah, I think also this is one of the biggest challenges that we have. People throwing diapers all around. It's mainly diapers that are thrown in the river streams, which is polluting our rivers and also contribute to depletion of some aquatic animals. We are actually appealing to community members to partner with us so that together we can preserve this environment.
As part of my journey, I spoke to Professor Shank to understand more about the disposable nappy research that she conducted within our communities. Good day, Professor Shank. Thank you for having this call with me. Please tell me some of the findings that you received from the research that you conducted within the communities.
So Charlotte and I, my PhD student, conducted a research study on the diaper usage and disposable practice in unserved rural areas like the Kruger Canyon region. So we interviewed 1,500 caregivers of babies on nappies, and we conducted focus group discussions with the community members. We also mapped the dumping hotspots in the area. So from the research, one of the major results that came out from the study was that the diapers are so convenient, and that's the main reason why they use it. You do not need water and electricity, which they do not have in this area. They believe it is good for the health and the comfort of the baby. So the producers are actually very successful to have created this very convenient product. But, and this is a very big but, a disposable nappy is a very complex product, and to manage it is a nightmare for the households if they do not receive waste management. Some of the participants also shared with us that there are cultural belief systems that also complicate and makes the nappy management very complex. Traditionally, unserved households bury, burn, or dump their waste, but with nappies, all of this seems to be highly problematic. Nappies cannot burn. It takes hundreds of years to degrade when it is buried, and when it is dumped according to the households, it pollutes their water, it creates a health issue, and it kills their livelihoods, and it is a threat to the biodiversity and the environment. Furthermore, I think what is very important to highlight is the severity of the issue is the following numbers that we've estimated. We have established that on average, the babies use around 4.1 diapers a day. And with the help of Professor Johan Joubert from the University of Pretoria, it is estimated that the staggering number of 37,000 nappies are generated per day in the Maroling municipality area. And in the bigger Bushbuck Ridge municipality, 172,000 nappies are generated daily. So we can just think of the amount of diapers that potentially can go to the rivers. It is really a big problem.
Understanding more of this waste issue, I engaged with a group of Indigenous Knowledge System custodians, also known as IKS custodians. The IKS teams and also Community Citizen Science Monitor engage with so many community members. They're the ones that actually helped me to understand communities' viewpoints of waste, of what communities think waste is doing within their environment. We had a very interactive engagements with them where we had to discuss some of the indigenous knowledge that was shared from them to us on how is waste handled back then and how is waste handled now. With engaging with them, I realized that there is so much power in collaborative actions. I realized that there is so much power in bringing in so many ideas, learning more about the challenge, going through the journey of the challenge so that we can all come up with solutions to conquer the problems that we're facing. After my community engagements, I realized that this waste issue was not only affecting just my community, but there was people on the ground that are working towards waste management. There were initiatives on the ground that are actually being done to reduce this amount of waste crisis that we're facing. I believe that there is change. I believe that we can actually conquer it. It's a complex issue, but if we can all stand together, we can conquer it. If we try to come together and understand each other, that we can actually conquer this waste issue. We can be the ones that drive change. We can be the ones that tell our children that my environment was once polluted, but now it has changed. My environment now feels like home. My environment is now safe. My environment is healthy.